You ever have one of those days where you can feel it, trouble's coming, but you don't know from which direction, and you sure as hell didn't invite it? That's how it started for me. I was just a retired professor trying to mind my own business, taking my late wife's old war dog for a sunset walk along the Santa Barbara cliffs, thinking about nothing but the ocean air and how the light catches on those purple clouds. I mean, you'd think I'd earned a little peace, right? But life's funny like that. Sometimes peace is just the quiet before the storm. Now, my dog, Titan, big Belgian Malinois, more scars than most soldiers. He's got this sixth sense for danger, and I swear he knew something was off before I did. Camille, my wife, trained him before cancer took her. She always said he didn't follow commands, he followed hearts. Maybe that's why he never really listened to anyone but me, at least not after she was gone. Some days, I can still hear her voice in my ear. Walk like you own the ground. Don't ever let them make you small. So I try. I try for her. For me. For all the times the world tried to remind me I didn't belong. Anyway, that night, the air was heavy, like even the wind was holding its breath. I clipped on Titan's leash, felt the weight of Camille's old dog tags against my chest, and we headed out. I noticed folks in the neighborhood weren't waving so much lately. More quick glances and tight lips, more doors closing than opening. It's the kind of thing you notice when you've spent a lifetime standing out for all the wrong reasons. Titan caught a scent, tensed up, and I saw them. 3 officers in a patrol car, 2 blocks down, lights off, just watching. Now, maybe you're thinking, just a couple cops on patrol, what's the big deal? But you know what I mean when I say sometimes you just feel it, when the looks last too long, when the air thickens up, and you know you're not just being watched. You're being marked. Not as a neighbor, or a woman, or even a citizen. Just a problem. And in Santa Barbara, problems are supposed to keep quiet and out of sight. Those 3, Sergeant Clay Breener, all forced grins and tight fists. Matt Riley, green as grass and twice as nervous. Drew Watkins, the kind of guy who laughs hardest when he thinks you're about to cry. They've been circling me for weeks. Not a word, just coincidentally, showing up everywhere Titan and I walked, leaning on their cruiser like they own the street. It doesn't always take words to intimidate someone. Sometimes silence is enough. So that night, they didn't leave. Titan started growling low, the kind of growl that comes from somewhere deep and old. I kept walking, but I could feel their eyes on me, just waiting for me to slip up, to give them a reason. But I'd spent too long fighting for a seat in rooms not built for me. For respect, I had to work twice as hard for a marriage most people in this country still wouldn't recognize. I was done shrinking. I turned off the trail, back toward town, head high, just daring them to try. Next morning, same routine, different feeling. The whole world felt tighter, sour. The cruiser was back, this time right across from the coffee shop. Clay leaned against the door, sunglasses on, smiling with his teeth, not his eyes. "Morning, ma'am," he called. Polite on the surface, sharp underneath. I nodded, kept walking. Drew tapped his baton against his leg. "Hope he's not too much for you." Clay asked, "What's he trained for?" I stopped, looked him dead in the eye. He's trained to protect and to recognize danger. For a second, I saw it, the flicker of doubt. Then the mask snapped back on. Couple complaints lately. People nervous about a dog that size. He's leashed. By law. Perception matters, he says. Is this a warning? I ask. Just looking out for the community. Are you? Or just reminding me you're watching? For a second, the mask slipped. Then he stepped back. Enjoy your walk. But the tension didn't let up. People in town started crossing the street instead of saying hello. The woman with the stroller, the kid at the bookstore, even old friends from the food pantry. Now, their smiles faded quick. It's like they were watching me, waiting to see which way things would break. I tried to shake it off. Sat in the park, played an old recording from Camille. Don't let anyone shrink you, especially not when they smile while they're doing it. I played it twice, then got up. Kept moving. But the third time, yeah, that's when it really went sideways. I took Titan down a quieter path, the one Camille and I used to walk together. It always felt safe, almost sacred. This time, I heard tires on gravel behind me. The cruiser rolled up slow, headlights off, creeping like a predator. Clay got out first, Drew right behind him, baton in hand. Matt stayed in the car, face pale. Evening, Miss Jameson, Clay started. Beautiful night, isn't it? Titan was already bristling. I didn't look away. You're not here about the weather. Just making sure everyone feels safe. Are you? Because I don't. Drew started circling. Mind if I see that chain? He said, eyeing Camille's tags. They're not yours to see, I said. He reached out anyway. That was it. Guard, I whispered. Titan moved so fast Drew nearly tripped. No bite, just a warning wall of muscle and teeth. Clay's hand hovered near his gun. Call him off. I didn't move. He hasn't touched you, lady, Clay warned. This isn't going to end well for you. You're right, I said. It won't. For you. Up above, I heard it, a soft buzz. I glanced at the rooftops. A drone, barely visible, light blinking. Turns out, a teenager named Jordan Ellis was out testing his new gimbal and just happened to catch the whole thing on video. Clay noticed, cursed. I called Titan to my side. We walked past, slow and steady. I didn't look back. Matt, the young officer, stepped out, looking pale. You good with this? He whispered, but nobody answered. That video went up online that night. No edits, no voiceover, just raw confrontation. By morning, my name was trending. Walk with Ella Laner. Some people called me a hero, some called me a troublemaker. She made it about race. She escalated it. Thank God someone finally caught those officers. The town started picking sides, and suddenly, nobody could pretend not to see what was right in front of them anymore. The next day, my neighbor crossed the street instead of saying hello. Some kid biked by and shouted, "We got your back, Miss Jameson." That meant something, but you could feel the divide. It wasn't loud. It was in the looks, the distance people kept. Some were with me. Some wanted me to disappear. That Thursday at the veterans' brunch, the room was stiff. One woman, Susan, handed me a glass of juice and gave me a nod, but the seat to my right stayed empty the whole time. That afternoon, I got a call from Deputy Mariah Lake. We're opening an investigation. ADA Layla Carson is taking point. You had a witness and a dog who didn't back down. What does that mean for me? I asked. Things will get louder before they get better. And she was right. That night, someone spray-painted liar on my mailbox. Next morning, someone left yellow tulips on my porch. No note. At the market, the owner muttered, "You shouldn't have talked back." So I should have let them corner me? I said, "They didn't touch you." Sometimes things are exactly what they look like. Outside, a young mom squeezed my arm and whispered, "You're a hero to my daughter." All I ever wanted was to walk my dog in peace, not to become anybody's symbol. But when Layla called and said, "We have a strong case, but only if you'll testify," I didn't hesitate. I said. "They'll put you under a microscope. Let them come. I've been questioned my whole life." At the courthouse, marble floors swallowing sound, every eye on me. Titan had to wait outside, but I could feel him there, my anchor. The prosecutor played the drone video. The whole courtroom watched. No sound but the wind and the weight of it. When I took the stand, I told them the truth. Not just what happened, but what it meant, the pattern, the erosion, the history, the choice to stand my ground. "What did you feel in that moment?" Layla asked. I said, like I'd come to the edge of something. Not fear, but something close. And I knew if I gave in, I'd never stop giving in. So I chose not to. The defense tried to twist it, question my motives, my memory, whether Titan was a threat. I just said, if telling the truth sounds exaggerated, maybe you haven't been listening long enough. The verdict, guilty on all counts. Clay didn't even flinch. Drew looked away. Matt looked like he might finally get it. I just breathed, finally, for the first time in weeks. When I walked out, Titan was there, waiting. I crouched, pressed my forehead to his. "We did it," I whispered. "We held the line." And in that moment, with the fire of sunset behind me and Titan steady at my side, I felt free. You know, I never wanted to be a symbol. Just a woman, walking her dog, holding on to memory and dignity in a world that wanted to erase both. But sometimes history comes for you when you least expect it. I could have walked another way, kept quiet, let fear make me small. But I didn't. And because of that, everyone had to look at what silence had let grow. Bravery isn't loud. Sometimes it just keeps walking, even when the whole world wants you to turn around. Maybe that's the lesson here. Injustice doesn't always wear a mask. It shows up polite, dressed as concern, pretending it's keeping you safe. Integrity is what you stand for in public, when no one's cheering, when the only person watching is yourself. So let me ask you, where do you need to stand your ground? At work? At home? For someone else? Or just for yourself? Let this story remind you, Dignity isn't a gift. It's a choice you make over and over, every time the world tries to take it away. If this story moved you, if it made you feel something, don't just sit with it, share your thoughts. Let's talk about right and wrong, about justice, about what it means to stand together or to stand alone. Because in the end, stories like this, they aren't meant to just be watched. They're meant to wake us up,